Welcome back to the Achieving Your Best Life YouTube channel. I'm Ali, and in this video, we're going to Charleston, South Carolina. When we filmed this video, it was during 2020, so many places were under government shutdowns and lockdowns. So we decided to take some road trips to places that normally might not have been on our radar, but seemed like they still had things open. In this video, we're going to show you some things to do in Charleston, South Carolina, such as places to eat, historic sites to see, breweries to check out, and much more. Charleston, South Carolina, here we come. When we arrived in Charleston, it was about dinner time, but I wanted to try a brewery before we went to go get some food. We went to check out Revelry Brewing, mainly because of its proximity to a barbecue place that we wanted to try. It's in a quasi-industrial area and had a cool functional fitness gym right next door to it. There was an outside seating area as well as a cool looking rooftop area. The rooftop was pretty crowded, so we decided not to stay up top. This brewery had a nice lightweight hazy IPA. Got this Never Sunny. It's a hazy, it's a New England style. It's kind of feels session-ish because it's very smooth and not overwhelming, 7%. So this was one of the highlights of the entire trip, and it took place on the very first day that we made it to Charleston. We went to Rodney Scott's Barbecue, which is known for low country, slow smoke barbecue. We heard about Rodney Scott on Netflix's Chef's Table. Ever since I saw that episode, I wanted to try Rodney's whole hog, which I finally got to do. Jessica got a pulled chicken sandwich. We got mac and cheese, hush puppies, and cornbread as our sides. This was no doubt one of the high points of our weekend in Charleston. So if you're ever in the Charleston area, be sure to check out Rodney Scott's Barbecue. So what did you think of Rodney Scott's?
Lived up to the hype.
It did, and that smell right now, what do you think about that smell you're smelling?
It smells good.
We were obviously on a high after eating at Rodney Scott's, and it was time to see what type of beer the city of Charleston had to offer. Next stop, Brewlab. This brewery has a good diversity of beers between sour milkshake IPAs, juicy IPAs, West Coast IPAs, and sours. We ended up getting a couple of flights, so we were able to taste a good variety. They didn't have what I would call a pure New England, but the beers were tasty and the owner showed a great deal of hospitality. He was actually a Florida State alumni that lived in South Florida for several years before moving back to Charleston to open Brewlab. Welcome to one of the cooler brewery experiences that I've had, and I've been to a lot of breweries. Fatty's Beer Works. We almost didn't get to have this experience because Jessica was creeped out by the cemetery that we parked next to in order to get to Fatty's. When we walked in, we were the only people there except for the owner, Fatty. This was a complete blessing. I got to experience a plethora of beers with the man himself. Fatty was awesome. He gave us an interview and told us all about why he walked away from his six-figure job to start this brewery. And I'm here with the owner of Fatty's Beer Works in Charleston.
Right. People call me Fatty.
So your nickname is Fatty.
That's correct.
So when did you start this brewery?
So Fatty's, this is basically an idea that grew out of many back porch sessions of working for the man and just rejecting the corporate world and building an idea and a dream into a brick and mortar facility. And that started in 2008. When my wife got pregnant the second time, I needed an idea to get out of the house and started brewing beer in my garage. And that has turned into this. Fatty's.
So you were brewing in your garage in 2008.
That's correct.
And then when did you finally
So this place opened St. Patty's Day, March 2017. So we're celebrating our 5th anniversary this March.
Congratulations.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. We've grown from a 40-barrel capacity facility to a 180-barrel capacity facility. And we'll continue to do that. We're adding a canning line this year.
I see that you have a bunch of cans in there.
We're currently outsourcing our canning, but we've invested in putting down payments on a canning line that we're bringing here in January 2021. So we've got a massive growth goal for next year, especially with our flagship IPA, Lazy Hazy.
Lazy Hazy, by the way, is this one, and it's awesome. What do you say? What hops are in this?
Citra Mosaic.
Citra Mosaic. We love it. Citra Mosaic.
It's a secret.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you for having us in your brewery. This is an awesome location. They have like grass in the front.
Natural grass, diamonds, oija.
Yeah, this place is awesome.
First sample pour out of a brand new 20-barrel tank from Portland Kennel. Of course, is our flagship Lazy Hazy. Juiciness, the New England IPA everybody wants. We don't have any forced carbonation. It's just natural carbonation right now for the fermentation process. Smell the juiciness, smell the loveliness.
Wow.
It'll tantalize your taste buds and your floral nose.
Wow.
Fantastic. Right?
This is like straight from the source.
Right here, it doesn't get any more fresh than that.
That's like the first time in my life. Straight from the source. That is amazing. I can't say enough good things about Fatty's, as well as their flagship New England IPA, Lazy Hazy. If you're ever in Charleston, this is an absolute don't miss. Day 2 was upon us, and for breakfast before heading over to the plantation, we stopped at Bake Shop. Their baked goods were pretty delicious. So this here is ham and cheese pretzel, but it tastes more like a cross between a croissant and an Asiago bagel with ham on it. It's good. This ham and cheese pretzel thing was straight fire. I would get it again. Jessica got a cinnamon roll. I also got an apple fritter because I can never resist those. Overall, Bake Shop was a beyond solid breakfast choice if you're on the go and don't have time for a full sit-down situation. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go over to a plantation and check out how slavery was done in South Carolina. Charleston is known for touring antebellum plantations. We went to Boone Hall. The driveway was long enough that I began to get a feel for how big the property was. Approaching the big house, the driveway is lined with massive oak trees which created a canopy of dangling moss. That's the, I'm assuming. Mm-hmm. They have them in the front so like they could flex on you and be like, look how many slaves we have. Like before you even get to the house, we're like, damn, you got a lot of money. You have hell of slaves.
Welcome to Boone Hall Plantation, where we take pride in presenting Southern hospitality, education, history, and entertainment with a modern-day flair.
So this is a slave shack. So at Boone Hall, you walk from slave shack to slave shack, and inside each shack, you're able to see a presentation on the slave experience that's triggered by pressing a button. This here is cotton, indigo, and black cotton, all of which was grown on the plantation here back in the antebellum times. So, where are you?
Boone Hall Plantation.
What do you think about these lavish shacks?
They're kind of depressing. Very depressing.
Is this the big house?
The big house, the rebuilt big house. This is not the original big house.
It's rebuilt. This is the most lavish of the big houses.
Yeah.
Walking around the plantation stirred up very visceral feelings for me. I kept thinking about how important the concepts of freedom and liberty are, as well as what the best options for the slaves were. It was interesting to know that the slavers did not even provide adequate food for the slaves, according to the plantation records. As a result, the slaves would go out at night after spending 10 hours doing hard labor in the field and hunt for things like raccoons, possums, and squirrels for sustenance. They would later bury the carcasses of the small mammals so that the master would not find out what they were doing. The bottom line is that slavery was a brutal crime against humanity.
This is a smokehouse.
For like meats?
Yep.
After experiencing the plantation, it was time to lift our spirits with a trip to some of the local breweries in the Mount Pleasant, South Carolina area. First stop, Westbrook Brewing Company. This place had a nice outdoor area that was covered by a tent, which came in real handy because it had been drizzling most of the day. This is the pineapple orange shake milkshake IPA. I think it's like 7%-ish. Good. It seems like there might be some added lactose. This is the 3 Claw. It's 8.5%. It's a New England, Azacca, El Dorado, and I believe Citra hops. 8.5%. You get a lot of Azacca profile in this. Next up was Hobcob Brewing, which was right up the street from Westbrook and also in Mount Pleasant. The colors and signage of the brewery was very modern, and in the back there was an open space with televisions that had college football on. They had a New England that I was much obliged to try out. This is New Economics at 6%. It has Galaxy, Mosaic, and Vic Secret in it. You do get a bit of a Mosaic forward profile to it. The last of the breweries that we visited in Mount Pleasant was Two Blokes. This brewery had several different beers to try, and the ambiance was pretty cool. We got a flight with some haze, but nothing too juicy. I really liked the vibe in this place. Fog and Mist milkshake. Cone of Uncertainty. Makes sense for folks that live down on the peninsula. Bked Throat Charmer. It's a double IPA. I think it's about 8%. Now this one I feel like has the best look to it. It's called Milton's Tropical Vacation. I think it's like a 5.5% hazy. I would call it a session IPA because of the ABV. Where are you? You don't know.
Vintage Coffee Cafe.
Vintage Coffee and Cafe also had a very interesting back area that had picnic tables that we would have enjoyed our coffee at had it not been raining. Also, in the back area, there was a pizza bar as well as a camper on which they served ice cream out of, neither of which was open at the time. We intended on going back to try the pizza and ice cream. We didn't get a chance. We're hoping that we do get a chance in the future to try the pizza bar as well as the camper ice cream. So for your coffee, you said this coffee is better than the coffee this morning?
Yeah.
So vintage coffee is superior to, what was the name of that place?
Bake shop.
Baked Shop.
I think that the bake shop was really just for the baked goods.
Yeah, the baked goods was really good. I like that pretzel thing was really good.
Yes.
So we arrived at the Battery and were a little hungry, so we dropped in at Qology Barbecue. We split a buffalo chicken sandwich, mac and cheese, and hush puppies. The sandwich was a real winner. A trip to Charleston wouldn't be complete without checking out the Battery. The Battery is a fortified seawall at the southernmost tip of the Charleston Peninsula, where the Cooper River and the Ashley River meet. With its scenic promenade and historic park, the Battery is easily one of downtown Charleston's most renowned landmarks. The Battery is lined with historic homes, and its harborside promenade offers incredible views of Fort Sumter, Castle Pinckney, and the Sullivan's Island Lighthouse. There's a strange smell that emanates from the water there, so don't be surprised. The centerpiece of the Battery is White Point Garden, which received its name from the huge piles of sun-bleached oyster shells that originally covered the ground. White Point Garden contains statues, cannons, and memorials. I've never seen oak trees like this in my life, to the point that I thought I had never seen an oak tree after seeing these oak trees. They're huge, their branches are wild and like to the side and out there. But apparently there are oak trees that I've seen before. There's an oak tree right by my house, but I've just never seen trees that look like this. Another landmark not to miss if you go to Charleston is Rainbow Row. Rainbow Row is the name for a series of 13 colorful historic houses in Charleston, South Carolina. It represents the longest cluster of Georgian row houses in the United States. When you walk past it, you're probably going to see a bunch of people taking pictures for their Instagram. Another landmark not to miss is the Pineapple Water Fountain. It's located in Waterfront Park, which is an 8-acre park along the Cooper River in Charleston, South Carolina. The Pineapple Water Fountain is in the middle of the grassy lawn located immediately in front of the City Gallery. I even tried southern fried oysters while I was in Charleston. We ended our day in Charleston at the Frothy Beard Brewing Company, which had an interesting beer that was garnished with a marshmallow. I had never seen that before. We started our second full day in Charleston by getting something to eat at a location called Orange Spot. We shared a rainbow sprinkled cookie as well as a ham and cheese croissant breakfast sandwich. I like the sandwich a lot. Next stop, Towne Landing. The building had a museum in it that gave some context as to the founding of Charleston. It also had a nature park with a footpath on it that we decided to walk through. Towne Landing had an animal refuge for animals that were indigenous to the area. So we are in the Towne Landing Animal Refuge or Forest or whatever it is, and the animals look super sad. I kind of feel bad for them. Charleston Landing also had a replica of what it would be like for the early settlers of South Carolina. Our next stop was Folly Beach. Folly Beach is a semi-private city located on Folly Island in Charleston County, South Carolina. It's described as an eclectic beach community that has some surf shops, restaurants, gift shops, and bars. It's home to some surf spots, but being from Florida, it seems somewhat secluded for being a surf spot. It was slightly drizzling the day that we went out, so that probably affected the amount of people surfing, although we did see a couple people out there trying to catch some waves. On our way back to Charleston from Folly Beach, we stopped off to get something to eat at Black Magic Cafe. The food there was beyond delicious, and we both said that we would love to go back at some point. I got a sandwich that was fittingly called the Angel Oak, that had turkey, prosciutto, cheese, red onion, avocado, mixed greens, pesto mayo, and it was served on a croissant. Jessica got an egg and cheese sandwich on a plain bagel, which she added bacon to. Our sweet tooth got the better of us and wouldn't let us pass up a chance to try the cinnamon roll. Like we said, this place was just awesome. If you're ever in the Charleston area, you should check out the landmark tree that's named Angel Oak. It's estimated to be 400 to 500 years old. It stands over 66 feet tall and is measured at 28 feet in circumference. This massive tree produces shade that covers over 17,000 square feet, and its largest branch is 187 feet in length. This was definitely a pretty cool tree to see, and we suggest it. After checking out Angel Oak, it was time for us to try some beers. Lucky for us, there was a brewery that was relatively close to the tree called Low Tide Brewing. It was raining and a little bit muddy, but this brewery had a tent to keep us dry. They had a nice variety from sours to IPAs, and the flight of 4 was only $10. I have to say that the flight looked very colorful. If you're ever out by Angel Oak and want to grab a beer, Low Tide Brewing is a great option. If you know anything about me, you know that I like barbecue. South Carolina is known for their mustard-based barbecue sauce. I like the barbecues that have been doing it for decades because there's something to be said for if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Enter BESSINGER'S Barbecue. This is a Carolina classic that's been doing it since the 1930s. I got a pulled pork sandwich with mustard sauce, and Jessica got a chicken sandwich. BESSINGER'S doesn't seem to carry hush puppies anymore, but the mac and cheese was a real showstopper. Also, the onion rings were very intriguing.
So this onion ring is something I've never tasted before. It is like an onion ring, but there's so much dough around it. It's almost like a donut with an onion on the inside.
Do you like it?
It's really good.
How would you describe it?
Wild.
So we wrapped up our Charleston trip by grabbing one last flight at Holy City Brewing. This place was pretty cool as far as ambiance goes and had several TVs that had the NFL games on them. They also served food. There was a somewhat outdoor patio that people were chilling on as well. They didn't have any New England IPAs, but it was still a great way to wrap up our trip. So now you've seen a plantation, some iconic barbecue spots, several breweries, as well as many other landmarks in Charleston, South Carolina. Now, if there's something in Charleston that we missed, let us know in the comments. Also, if you enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe buttons, as it really does help us grow this channel and keep bringing you these videos. Thanks for tuning in, and we hope to see you achieving your best life.